I am here with someone who's not only recently signed with Matchroom, but is going to make their professional debut in Connor the Hammer Mitchell. Hopefully I said that correctly.
Yep.
If I didn't, then someone's going to give me a right old scruffing down the net thinking, what are you calling him a different nickname for? But he's not related to the Mitchell family in EastEnders. He's from a boxing royalty, as we should say. But first of all, Connor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, thank you. And just obviously, your debut coming up this Wednesday. First of all, for someone who's going to make their debut, what is your emotions coming up into this?
What do you mean by emotion was?
Like, how do you feel about making your debut on the Matchroom boxing show?
Yeah, no, it's what I've wanted since I started boxing, to be honest. So, yeah, it's massive to be boxing with Matchroom and on a good show with loads of prospects. So, yeah, I can't wait to just show what I'm about, really, and get all the fans excited.
Absolutely. And obviously, I want to talk, before we talk a bit more about your boxing style and what made you want to sign with Matchroom, I want to talk a bit more about your dad, because your dad is obviously a cult hero within the boxing world. Talk to me about, his influence, not only as a dad, but also, in your boxing career as well.
Do you know what? When I was a kid, my dad actually didn't want me to box. Obviously, I didn't really like boxing because I probably see the ups and downs of him, wins, losses, times that he's probably depressed, do you know what I mean, all that stuff. So I actually didn't want to box. I played football till I was 10 years old. And then I went to the gym one day and boxed for a year. And then I got robbed on my second amateur fight. And we went on holiday and he just said, give it up. Because I just couldn't deal with the pressure of people. I walk in the gym and people go, oh, that's Kevin Mitchell's son, this and that. And where I was young, I didn't understand why. But he said, go back to football. So I went back to football, and then I ended up one day just going back to boxing without my dad knowing. My mum and stepdad took me to the gym, and then within the week, he found out, and he was like, "You went to the gym?" I went, "Yeah," and he was like, "Are you enjoying it?" I said, "Yeah, it's good. Like, I want to start boxing again." He's like, "Yeah, fine. I'm happy to. Do you want to move to a better club?" West Ham's like booming at the minute. I was West Ham Boxing Club at the time, and he took me there. As obviously, yeah. Just moved on from then.
And obviously you mentioned about football. First of all, is there a football team that you support?
Yeah, West Ham.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, West Ham United, mate, yeah.
Do you get to go to the game often?
Yeah, do you know what? See, when the old stadium, be there, I was there all the time. I loved it there.
Yeah.
And I've been there a few times since when the new stadium, but I just think like the old stadium was the nuts, mate. I loved it there.
Yeah, obviously proper iconic ground, Upton Park, really.
Yeah.
Never got to go there myself, but speaking from seeing things and speaking how people speak about it, it seems like a very iconic ground. But for you personally, you mentioned, did you play a position as well in football? Or
Yeah. I played centre attacking mid. I actually had a trial at West Ham when I was 10 years old. But I got stung by a bee and ended up walking off the pitch, and then me and my dad went for an Indian. So I ended up not carrying on the trial, but...
So if you had carried on the trial, we might have been talking to you as a West Ham player. Who knows? Still as a centre attacking mid, or maybe further?
I was actually left mid then.
Yeah.
And then, and obviously when I went back to football, I played centre attacking mid. So, yeah, I was like around that position now.
Absolutely. And obviously, how much has football sort of influenced, your boxing sort of career? Because obviously they're two different sports, but, one's a bit more like a team kind of sport, but another is more individualistic. So explain to me sort of like what you sort of took from football that you sort of brought into boxing.
Do you know what? The thing with football, I used to love football, but it weren't always down to one player. Like, say with boxing, you put the work in, you'll see it, you'll see the change, do you know what I mean? But with football, I think like it could be a player that messes up, not you, or it's a whole team game, do you know what I mean? So with boxing, it relies on yourself, and I think like it puts the pressure on you, and I like having that pressure. I feel like it makes me work hard, and it shows what I can do.
Any moves that you sort of took from football to boxing, or you should have sort of kept that separate?
What do you mean?
Any moves, any celebrations that you sort of...
No, I keep that separate.
Maybe you could save that if you went on your debut.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see.
But obviously, you spoke a bit more, obviously, about your dad, things like that, really. What has been sort of the things that you sort of learnt from your dad, really, from a boxing point of view? Because you've sort of seen, obviously, the ups and downs of being a son of a fighter. So explain some of the things that you sort of learnt from him.
I learned a lot from him, to be honest. Where he had a up and down career, he's quite a party boy. yeah, he mucked around a lot. Didn't really stay focused on boxing. So a lot of that, like, mate, I don't even go out. Do you know what I mean? I don't drink. He was a bad. He used to drink all the time, even in camp. Like, he was mad. So I
Yeah.
learned a lot from that. Learned that a lot from him. Even the things with contracts, like he got done out a lot of money, and that weren't happening to me. Do you know what I mean? I've seen him. I've seen the things he's told me, the things that are wrong. And there's a lot of dogs in pro boxing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put their arm around you, it's like your best mate, but really, they're not. Do you know what I mean? So I've learnt loads from him, but I've had obviously got good people around me, a good team. Like Conor Ben's helping me, his team's all like Lee, the lawyer. So there's loads of people around that are helping me, and they're all good people. So yeah.
Do you think those experiences sort of help you prepare you into the world of boxing? Because nobody really knows, what it's like to deal with the business of boxing unless you sort of experienced it yourself. So, has those experiences sort of prepared you in sort of what to expect in terms of what you can and can't expect and sort of manoeuvring different things?
Yeah, yeah, so, like most people wouldn't know. Like most boxers don't even earn that much money. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
from outside, people think, "Oh, boxers are killing it." It's the 1% that are actually doing well.
Yeah.
But obviously, where I've seen most people's dads never been through them. Like people basically dogging them in contracts, doing wrongs. Do you know what I mean? But I've seen and heard it all through my dad. So
Yeah.
when I was going through the contracts, I'm not stupid. Do you know what I mean? I've heard the money that people getting paid. But most kids will just take anything they get, but mate, not me. Like I've heard and seen it. Do you know what I mean? Since a kid.
Absolutely. And talk to me a bit more about, signing with Matchroom because, you know, Eddie Hearn, fellow Essex, businessman as well. He's obviously one of the biggest promoters in the world. What was it about your match with Eddie that sort of made it a sort of like a good match? And what is it about Eddie that sort of made you think, okay, I want him on my side?
Do you know what? Since I remember, I've been around Matchroom Gym since I was 8, 9 years old. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a long time. So I was around Eddie, Frank Smith, since I was a kid. And when I always wanted to be a Matchroom fighter anyway.
Yeah.
So when thought about turning pro, I met a few promoters, but I just felt at home with Eddie and Frank Smith. Like, I just felt like it was just normal to go with them. They were straight with me, and that's what I liked. I don't like I wanted them to be straight, and that's what they give me a straight thing. So and mate, to be with Match and Boxing, the biggest in the world, in it. So mate, it's wicked. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. And obviously, a bit more about your fight style. I want to talk a bit more about, those who haven't seen you box yet.
Yeah.
How would you describe your fight style and how are you going to look to sort of make yourself stand out within the boxing scene?
Yeah, no. Obviously, as an amateur, I won quite a bit, and I won a senior ABA title, so that proves it for itself. Like a lot of people win senior ABA titles, but listen, I can box, I can fight, I can do it all, and like I've got the war in me as well, like my dad had back in the day, and that's what they loved about him. And I've got that in me. Obviously, I want to be more smarter than that because that don't get you a long way in your career. But
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I can do it all, and I can't wait to just show everyone what I'm about on the 17th.
And obviously, you mentioned Conor Ben as well as
Yeah.
part of your team. How did you guys first linked up, and how has he sort of helped you not only from a boxing point of view, but also as a brand as well? Because obviously, you're looking to sort of like improve your brand, particularly around your local area around here and obviously nationwide.
Yeah, so obviously I've been around him since the Matchroom Gym when I was 9, he was probably 18. And I've always been around him, he knows me as a person, but we first spoke again for when obviously he had the first Chris Eubank fight.
Yeah.
I spoke to him when I was about to turn pro, and he come and met me and literally just spoke to me and said, look, my team will help you and show you like basically how to go through it all. And obviously you won't be getting dogged, like we'll teach you. And mate, he's just been helpful since. Do you know what I mean? Like even on a week at the second Eubank fight, he was still asking me how I am and if I need any help. I was thinking, like, mate, don't worry about me, worry about the selfish. You know, like, do you know what I mean? You got a big fight on the weekend, don't worry, I'm sweet. And but no, he's a good person, man. And he's helped me loads, massive.
And would you sort of take some of his traits as well? Obviously, he's a very fiery, passionate fighter, not only in and outside the ring, or are you a bit more calm and collected?
No, do you know what? I think if you see recently, he's been very calm and like his last fight, he was much more chilled out, I thought. But no, I'm just going to be me and be calm. Listen, when I'm in the ring, it's a different Conor, do you know what I mean? I'll turn it on and show people what I'm about and, hurt my opponents. But, man, I'm just chilled and relaxed.
Absolutely. And obviously, Wednesday coming up, you know, what can sort of fans expect from you?
Yeah, a great performance and going to show my boxing level. Do you know what I mean? Like most um, kids that have dads that have boxed haven't done it as an amateur. What I've done, so no one can be like, oh, he's been given this spot because of his dad. But I want to senior A better title. They don't get given to you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, people going to see how good I am, and I'll prove it on the 17th.
And obviously, last question for
Yeah.
me, you know, the one thing I sort of like to sort of understand fighters is what makes them tick. Because a lot of us, you know, in the media, we sort of see what goes on in the ring and hear stories outside the ring. But I want to ask you personally, what is it that makes you tick? What is it that sort of gets you going, gets you motivated in that zone in terms of, you know, fighting?
Um, Man, I just love fighting. That's the truth. Like, I love getting in there and having a fight. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you gotta be smart and you can't just go in and fight. But I love everything. Like, it's all down to me. Do you know what I mean? That day is all down to me. I've got to perform. I've got to show people where I'm at. So like, nothing gets me ticking. But like, I just love fighting. So that's what's the good thing. And obviously, when you're in the fighting game, you've got to be able to fight. And I'm gonna show people that I can fight.